film, what do you kind of think about Nick's performance, the unevenness a little bit?
I thought overall Nick played fairly well. There was a couple throws early that, you just got to make. We missed an easy just hitch throw early and a couple things like that. But at the same time, he made some big time throws when we needed them. We had way too many drops. And his decision making was good. Obviously we had, we just got to be better all around in the passing game. That was disappointing. But the positive thing was our guys made the plays when they needed to. And, I thought he gave Duke chances. You got to give Sammy those same chances when he's one-on-one. A couple times the protection broke down, so that didn't help him. But just give those guys a chance to make a play for you.
Overall offense, obviously running game was, they kind of tried to shut that down. What did you kind of think overall of the offense?
Overall, I wasn't very pleased at all with anything. I did not think we played well. Give them a lot of credit. They had a lot to do with that. They played a very solid, disciplined game plan, very well coached, very tough. They played hard, just like we thought. They did everything we thought and more. It was a great environment they have there, and that's a really good football team. So it was a great test for us. But we didn't play Auburn football really at any position. We had way too many. Let's just say we had a lot of poorly executed plays. We didn't have many plays where all 11 guys did what they were supposed to do. In the run game, in the pass game, in pass protection, you name it, it was not our best effort. And fortunately for us, it was not our best effort in a game. Our defense played great, and we were able to find a way to win. But overall, I was not pleased. Now, the things I was pleased with, the one thing I thought we did really well, when we needed to respond, we did. And I thought we learned probably more about our team than if we'd have gone in there and played great and won going away. We had played poorly the whole first half. They finally score, make it 7-3. We go straight down the field and score before half. We responded. We had a good answer. In the second half, I think we were 2 of 7 in the first half on third down. We were about 8 of 11 in the second half. We challenged them at halftime. We got to be better on third down. We were. We had about a 15-play scoring drive in the second half. And then that last drive when we needed to keep the ball away from them, we did. Those were some of the positives. Good teams win when they're not their best. And I felt like we did that. At the same time, watching the film, it was just what it felt like. It was very frustrating and just not our best effort.
Any concern about the running game? A lot of busts there, or was it pretty much that was it, or was it just?
I'm not concerned from a standpoint of we can't fix things. Everything that we saw on film is correctable. It's just not characteristic of our guys. Going all the way back to last year and even this year, we haven't had a game where I felt like we just did a lot of uncharacteristic things and a lot of little things, but the game's about little things. If you're supposed to block a guy scoring his outside shoulder, you can't be on his inside shoulder. It affects the whole play. Instead of getting a 12-yard gain, we get a 3-yard gain, and now we're all frustrated. It's 3rd and 9. Little things like that, running your route at the right depth, throwing the ball on time to the right guy, catching the ball, working who you're supposed to work to up front, pass protection. Anything and everything, we just were not at our best. And like I said, a lot of credit goes to Kansas State. But, we've got to get to work.
What about Cap? And it seemed like every time he get to the line of scrimmage, someone was hitting him. Mm-hmm. He was getting right there. What did he do after contact? Did you like what he was doing, the way he was reading?
Yeah, he made some good runs.
Yeah.
Some 3rd and short runs that, 3rd and 1 and 2, we still converted, and largely because of him, because there wasn't a lot there. And, credit goes to them. They tackled very well. They didn't have a lot of guys out of position. The guys that were where they needed to be made the plays. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of things that we could have executed better that would have given ourselves a better chance to have better running lanes and make more yards, running and passing.
When you look at a game like that, do you why it was that way? Can you kind of put your finger on why it was that way?
Yeah, we didn't execute worth crap.
But why maybe you weren't at your best?
I don't know. We've all looked at ourselves, from myself to our coaches, that we've got to make sure we don't take anything for granted, let anything slide. We prepared hard like we always do. Our guys worked hard. I don't think the guys weren't. They were ready to play. They played hard. We just didn't play well. And like I said, they had a lot to do with that. But then when you watch the film on almost every play, you can say that's not what we do. That's not our brand of football. And so we've looked at it from our standpoint. We've gone with the players. They've responded great. And like I said, the big positive is we can learn from a win against a really good team on the road. And anytime you win on the road against a good team, you'll never take it for granted. You'll be very happy with that. But it felt a little bit like the Mississippi State game last year. We were just it was just, the other positive thing, it was frustrating, but our guys never showed it. They hung in there and they battled, and largely because our defense kept us in the ball game. But we just weren't playing well. But when we needed to make the plays, we did, and that was a positive.
How big is Nick? I mean, his teammates talk about it like, no matter how it went, he was a guy that was always kind of there. And he's delivered in the clutch. I mean, how important is it having a guy like that?
Well, that's why they believe in him. And like I said, out of the gates, I think he completed the first one, then the next 2 or 3 weren't great. But then you look at the film, he played pretty well after that for the most part. I know we had a couple balls get batted down. 2 of those are completely on me. We've got to do a better job helping them on the quick game protection, which Coach Grimes made a great adjustment at halftime, and we didn't have that problem in the second half. But I thought he played well after that. Had some drops, but he's also, it's not one thing to hit the guy, and you got to put it where it's an easy catchable ball. We got to all be better and a little harder on ourselves and perfect our positions better than we did last Tuesday.
I was going to say, with Marshall always kind of coming through in the clutch, is it something now that you're kind of numb to, or are you still does it still kind of amaze you every time it happens?
I just think it's something you expect. You expect he's our leader, he's our quarterback. You expect him to come through in those situations. And it's just something, it's why he ended up winning the job last year. It's something he's got a knack for and he's really good at. That's why our guys believe in him. I think the good thing, too, the other night was we had other guys step up and make some big plays when we needed them to. So, like I said, it's never as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems. I was disappointed because I didn't think we played Auburn football. I didn't think we executed to the level we're capable of or we expect. And we just didn't play our best. They had a lot to do with it, but at the end of the day, we did find a way to grit through a really tough atmosphere and make the plays to win.
I mean, it sounds like the majority of where you'd say the offensive kind of stuff that you're frustrated with, the majority was on you. Would you put like 75% on you guys not executing versus 25% K-State?
I'm not going to put a percentage on it. I think it was a combination of them playing really good, really sound football, and us not executing very well. It was going to be tough regardless. If we'd executed well, it's not like we were going to score 55 points. That's a good team and a great atmosphere. But we could have executed a lot better and, not caused our defense to have to keep stopping them time and time again to keep us in the football game.
Sammy's injury has obviously played into it, but Duke's really begun to separate himself from the rest of the receiving corps just in production.
Yeah.
Has there been any play, whether it was the final play of the game or anything along the way in practice, anything that you knew how good he was going to be to some degree, but is there anything that's been surprising to you at all?
No, I think Duke is the type of player we thought he'd be. I think he can get a lot better, just like all of our other guys. But no, he's done a good job. I know he'd like to have a couple of them back the other night as well. But what I was proud of him is, and like I said, our whole team is, he didn't get frustrated, didn't pout, put that play behind him, can't do anything about it, went on the next play, and when we needed him to make some big third down plays, he made them. And of course, the big touchdown catch. So, he's been a good teammate. And I've got no issues, but he can get better too, just like the rest of them.
Any chance you rest Sammy for this weekend?
No, we're we'll take it week by week if our guys are good. I mean, Sammy made it through the game fine. He wasn't full speed, but he made it through the game fine, and he's getting better. And I know he's eager to get back into Sammy's form that he knows he can be at and that we need him to be at to beat some really good teams left on our schedule. So we're treating this week like any other week. We're trying to really clean up a lot of those things we didn't execute very well and really play a good game Saturday.
Can you talk about what you've seen out of Brandon Fultz these first 3 games, just kind of what he's been able to do there?
Brandon has done a really good job overall in the first 3 games. The other night I thought he was really good and physical at the point of attack. There were some things, though, that he didn't do as well as he'd done in the first 2 games in some of our run concepts. So it's not really one spot, it's all of them. Every position group could have played a lot better in a lot of spots. And so that's kind of our charge right now. There's really no one that stood out overall. We got to be better.
Rhett, I wanted to ask you, offensive line, are there concerns for you about it? Because it seems like they've kind of made some mistakes that have allowed Nick to get pressure, and in the run game it seemed like they were kind of getting beat a little bit sometimes.
I mean, there's always concerns when you feel like you've got veteran guys, and I'm not just talking about the O-line, everybody, that you expect certain things. And the other night we didn't get it in a lot of areas. But so I'm concerned just because I want us to be perfect every time out, and we weren't. But I got a lot of confidence in all those players and JB and really every other position, so I don't have any major concerns. I think we'll get it right.
But I know you say that with Jeremy, week to week, things always are changing. Was the formation and everything lined up, receiver and Quan taking the snap, was that a game week wrinkle, or have you guys been working on that for a long time?
See you Saturday, we'll see.
What do you know about
You guys want me to bring a playbook in here?
I'm just asking, like, if that was what you guys have been working on for.
We worked on it last week.
what do you know about
That's a good question.
what do you know about Louisiana Tech's defense? I mean,
Well, you know, Manny Diaz, really well-respected, good coordinator. Been around a long time. We've played against him before. Got a lot of respect for him. He has a very unique style that is, you know, unique to him, and he's been really good at it. And I think you see in their first couple games against Louisiana Lafayette and North Texas, they pretty much shut those two teams down. Those are two teams that went to bowl games the year before, I believe. So, you know, he's familiar with us. We're familiar with him. It should be a good challenge.
This one where you go back to like 2010 and just kind of see some of the ways that he defended things in the past, kind of use all those things.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to look at everything he's got. We're going to look at everything we got. And we'll show up and see what happens.